Hello, Dapple Gray, Arts Alive 2021. Welcome back to part 2 of our video in plein air painting. Here you see what I did yesterday in part 1. Today I'm going to go ahead and attempt at finishing this in the next couple of hours. So this way I can have a total of 4 hours of work on this one. Most of my other paintings are of multiple hours, sometimes in the 10s, 20s, 30s. But with plein air painting, you want to be able to limit yourself to 4 hours, because that's about how much light you'll have that is consistent with what will be on the painting. Otherwise, if you go past that, then you're chasing the shadows and they'll change. Even the colors change of the surrounding area. So you want to limit yourself to 4 hours. It's a great challenge for artists to try to visualize and create something in such a short period of time. Van Gogh perfected this technique of painting fast, painting what you see, and living with the consequences or the results. All right, well, thank you again. I'm Mr. Roque once again, and let's plein air paint. Welcome back from that fast motion video. As you can see here, what I'm starting to do, I'm getting different light than I had yesterday. But what I'm trying to do is maybe incorporate some of that nude light that I saw, that I'm seeing up in the hills behind that, with the shadowing effect. Now, because it is my furthest background, I'm not going to add too much detail. Again, it's going to be a scrub just to fill in the canvas whites, because there's no white up there. So I'm going to fill in that canvas white here. As you can see, I'm trying to cover that up. It's okay that I'm rubbing in some of this lighter ochre yellow, excuse me, not okra, but ochre, together with some of that green, because the colors do blend in together also. If you squint carefully, the greens and the browns, they get together very, very easy, very quickly. Okay, so it's okay to scrub it in there for expediency. I don't want to go too much into my tree. I'm going to go ahead and line it up so I can get a nice distinct line of where that is. Okay, and a lot of that white is now gone. Scrub it in. That is the forgiving thing about working with oil paints versus acrylics. It's kind of similar to working with chalk or pastels, where you can rub it in and create an effect of color blending. Now I'm going to go ahead and, of course, excuse me, I put my cup down. Of course, I'm going to add some more of this ochre yellow here. Actually, I'm going to add a little gold now that I got my blends in. Something that can stand out a little bit more. I want to get that light yellow, like golden, where the sun is shining. So when I do rub it in, it's going to be lighter. Also, I want to give the illusion of it being sloped. So I'm going to, all my brush strokes will be in the same sloped movement. So some of the techniques I'm using here is, again, rubbing. I'm using one brush still, because I want to be able to get a lot of my work done without too much movement, right, between brushes. I don't need to do that yet. When I get into the detailing of the bridge, I'll bring out maybe 2 or 3 brushes to get that form. But for now, I want to get the tonality. Remember, we talked about tone, color palette. How many different greens do you see? How many different kinds of grays do you see? How many kinds of different browns do you see? The great thing about plein air painting is you can capture what you see for your viewer. As you can tell, I got the capstone. That's what this one's called, the keystone or the capstone, right up there. Okay, or I got, actually, excuse me, this is the keystone. These are capstones on top right here. But you can see that keystone right there in the middle kind of pops out, okay, out of the other white stones up top. When I come back and we can talk, I will go ahead and hopefully have most of this top section done. This way I can go and begin on the wood railings. That's raw wood railings. I mean, soaked that branch for a long time and bent it that way. Yeah, all right, see you soon. Hello, and we're back. This is what we have completed in the last couple of hours. As you can see, I got most of this background now done. I can go ahead and begin working on some of the more finer details of all of those branches and skinny leaves and tiny leaves. But we're not going to give too much detail because, again, our primary eye focus is going to be this bridge. Now that I got all these beautiful tones in here, that I can go ahead and get a smaller brush and get in there and make some fine lines. The next bit of fast motion will be filling in the water part. Okay, it's going to be a lot lighter. As you can see, there's much more whiteness in that area than the top was. If you remember, go back to video number 1, part 1. You'll see I had a lot of more filled out up here than I did down here, because the light off of the water is going to reflect much lighter than the dirt in the background. Okay, we have a special guest.
Hi everyone. Great to see everybody.
This is Mrs. Roque, or Miss Roque. Okay, she's here visiting.
I biked up here.
Park. Yeah, she biked it up, nice and healthy.
Shout out to all my second grade DLA students and parents and families, and a special shout out to all my former students at Dapple Gray.
So yeah, again, I'm going to use the same brush to finish out my water, and then we'll switch over to a smaller brush. I'm going to start using. See, much bigger difference. Each one is a little different. This one's thicker here. As you can see, it's a kind of like a mini version of that last brush I was using. Okay, here's a round brush. It's a round tip brush. This is going to allow me to do small blends when I go in circles. Okay, again, this is almost the same as this first one that I showed. A little bigger, and then finally, very fine. This is a number 0. This is 0. Say 0 is a number. And I'm back. So, in the end, I ended up using 2 brushes, a number 18 and a number 8. both flat heads. One is a little wider than the other one, just by a little bit. And voila, we get our tones in, so that this way we can come in. There we go. There we go. This way we can come in with our smaller brushes and give our bridge a little extra finer detail. We're only going to really work on our bridge, and then remember what I said in part 1? Boom, look at that, blotches. We're going to go ahead and fill in the mallard colors on top of those little white blotches. The ducklings tend to be brownish, so that'll be easy. Almost black, particularly in that shade right under the bridge. I will post a final part 3, which will give the last little details on how to accomplish a plein air painting with a finish at home. Okay, always remember to take a picture of that first day. That's rule number 6, I think we're at. And thank you very much, Arts Alive. I appreciate your time, your patience, and keep art fun. I love you. Bye.